Back to Poland. Look at the ball. He didn't just finish first. Team Reebok Evolution.
Way to go, Raptor! Keep it up!
Four across. Dead even into the final 50 meters. All the way. He clips the walls.
What up, party people? Welcome to the latest stream of the Mouse Olympics. Today, we're going to be going over a lot of the performance studies that are ongoing on the various different compounds that have been launched on Pump Science. And for that, we brought in the maestro himself, Alberto Parras, who is, coordinating and running all these experiments himself. So yeah, maybe it's just a reminder. What we're basically doing is, with each of the compounds that's launched on Pump Science, if they get enough funding, we take those compounds and we give them to mice, and we see whether they can improve the health of the mice as measured by all these different tests that we put them against. And really excited to show you some of the initial results. A lot of this is like baseline testing, so kind of just showing you, what the experiments are, how they work, and really give you a sense of like what the mice are going through when they are participating in the Olympics. So with that, we'll hand it over to Alberto himself, and he can kind of get into some of the data that they've generated so far.
Hello, and thank you, Benji, for the introduction. Now we are going to show the data that we were collecting before the treatment, as Benji mentioned. This is to see if we can see any enhance in the performance of the mice, but also is a safe for later for the longevity study, because running a short-term experiment but chronic, we can detect if there are some problem with the doses that we pick or whatever that we can correct later for the longevity study, that finally the goal is that the animal live longer and healthier. So I can share the screen, right?
Yes, sir. So as he's pulling that up, maybe just to kind of recap, the idea with the performance are improving health, right? So before we go and initiate these super long multi-year longevity studies, testing whether there are any signals that this compound may improve longevity for the mice. And we can do that pretty quickly by running these tests that Parras is running.
When I'm sharing the screen, I don't see you, right? Or
you should be able to. Let's see. Let me switch layout and see if that works. There you go. You should be able to bring up your computer as like an extra box. There you go.
Awesome.
So now you are seeing my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Front and center.
So at first I'm going to explain. I don't see you, so please, in some point you.
Do you want to hit the button at the bottom that says "dejar de compartir" or whatever those mean?
Well, I guess that you are there. You can interrupt me and ask me questions about that, and I will know that you are there. So first, I'm going to explain the experiment that we designed. So we are using mice C57 in this background, males and 6 months old, and we are treating five mice per condition. So the housing that we are doing, how we are keeping the animals. So we are changing the cage of the animal every 2 weeks. You know that this can be a kind of stressful for the mice every time that we change the cage. So we decided to do it only twice a month. Always we have enrichment in the cage that the animal has places to hide, to run, to play. Then we track the food intake every 2 weeks. to know if there is some drug that they are doing some calorie restriction like or the animal eats more or less. And then also we track the water consumption of the mice. So I see here that the most of the developer, we took picture of the mice before they starting the experiment, that you see the health of the mice before and then after the end of the treatment. And the developer write the name of the mice. To me, this is important because you see that we are tracking the same mouse at the beginning, before treatment, and after that, no? That we are comparing what is happening with each mouse during the experiment. We have the control group. We have alpha estradiol that we are going to add in the food containing. Then we have resveratrol with berberine together with the troll token. We have smear and rapamycin also in the food container with the token of Raptor. Sildenafil in food with the blue pill. And finally, pinealon, that is the only compound that we are doing intraperitoneal, the injection, because of this compound has to be injected. And now we can go over the result. You are there, right?
Yes, sir. Before we go over the results, which I assume are just like, graphs, do you want to go through the videos of the different mice?
I think I have one video before every result that you can that the people understand what we are doing.
Awesome.
So the first one is body weight. So you see that the only thing that we do is to take the mice and we measure the body weight. Why this is important? Because the animals, they are growing, and this is the first symptom that we see when something is happening, that they lose weight, they gain weight, or there are some modification. And then if we started to see something in the body weight, we can explore this deeper and to see if there is changes in the muscle or can be the fat. This is something that we can do later if we do the body weight, no? And you see that we are tracking during the last 1 month and a half, we were tracking the body weight to see how they are growing, the mice in different groups, and also that we can see here in grams, and also that we can normalize respect of the initial point and to see how the mice are growing over time. In the moment that we start with the treatment, this slide can change totally. So even you can see that maybe some treatment, the animals are going to lose weight, they are going to earn much more than the control, or you can see different with each other.
Awesome. So wait, just to recap a second here, you do expect some sort of growth here because the mice are growing, like they're still in their growth phase. But you don't really want to see, or a red flag maybe if the body weight starts to change significantly, either up or down.
Yes, exactly. So the animals, these mice at this background, they grow until 19 months normally, and then after 19 months this is stable, and then when they get old they started to lose weight. So now what we expect is a growing, more or less with the slide that we can see here, but then with the treatment we can start to see only a reduction or a stable in the body weight is because the treatment is doing something. This is for sure, because always the mice grow.
All right. And so how do you interpret this data here? Like, what does this tell you? Are there any kind of conclusions?
So with this, it's like everything is going well. The animals are fine, they are healthy, and they are behaving as usual. So this is to me the best symptom.
Amazing.
Then the second readout is body temperature. The body temperature, as it was described before in the video for Gillian and that, is super important for longevity. So it's very high correlated that lower body temperature promotes longevity and even episodes of his stress, countries that the human are exposed to the heat, they accelerate aging. So for me, this is super important that we track over time what is happening, because in the moment that we start with the treatment, we can see variation in the body temperature that can ask even to guess what is going to happen with the longevity and to see even the performance. Then can be tricky. So we have to play with this, because the sporty people, the first thing that they do before doing a sport is to warm up their body. So maybe some treatment, they don't allow to warm up the body, and maybe the performance can be different, but the animal can live longer. So this can be again that can happen, but it's super interesting to measure and to track over time.
No video of this one?
No, sorry.
Probably for the best.
We probably get taken down.
Yeah.
Give those mice some privacy.
Yes, we measure the body temperature rectal, and it's only the possibility that we have now to do the less invasive that we can, because the skin temperature with the hair is not accurate at all. And then, see, we want to have a live tracking that is possible. We have to do a surgery in the mice, and we don't want to do any super invasive in the mice, because then we can change the result with that.
Awesome, Pars. I'm so sorry. Do you see the banner at the bottom that says StreamYard.com está compartiendo? Do you see that?
Yes.
Can you hit ocultar? Ocultar.
Okay.
Cool.
Sorry.
Thank you.
So we can move forward. Or question until now?
Yes, sir. So, I mean, just as kind of like a general comment, what you would like to see here in terms of like what does good look like? Good here looks like what?
Like we are seeing now, that is stable over time. Then some mice are hotter than another one, but you see that the variation here is minimum. Now, in the moment that we start the treatment, we see some fluctuation. This is what we expect. Before treatment, everything is normal. There are the animals that are hotter at the beginning, they are hotter later. So, and then when we start the treatment, we can start to see difference.
Amazing.
Again, the conclusion here is that the animals are healthy and I'm fine. I'm ready for the next step. Then the next measure that we do is grease strength. So we measure the strength of the mice in the forehand leg, and we can see exactly we repeat several times to be sure that the animal that is reproducible, the strength, because sometimes even the mice, they don't hold the grease well, and then we select the higher strength, the maximum that the same mouse did, no? So that you have an idea. So this is we repeat it like a couple of times per mouse, and before treatment, we can see difference between mice, but they are not significant at all. And then also we can normalize by body weight. This is important because the animals that are fatter, we can put it like that, so bigger, normally they are stronger, and we should normalize. But this is something that we will do it later, because the goal now is that we have a basal point, because you know that not all of us, we have the same strength, and we want to see later, comparing with the beginning, if they are stronger or weaker. And
Okay,
this is due to the treatment.
So just to confirm, this is just variation among the mice that are going to be tested with each of these compounds, right? None of the differences we're seeing here have to do with the drugs themselves, right?
Exactly. This is everything before treatment. But like we assign any treatment for every group that you see how is in the different group.
Gotcha. So this is just by chance that the blue pill mice are much stronger than the boobs mice.
But this is because in this group, particularly in this group, the animals are stronger.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cool.
But to me, yeah, it's something normal. No, it's when we don't have a very high population per group. Normally, you see some fluctuation that then we are going to correct when we compare with the initial point. So then we measure activity. So we put the animal in a box during 10 minutes, and we are tracking the activity of the mice, how they are exploring, and the behavior in that. To me, this is one of my favorite tests because, like you can see in this graph, we can track all the movement of the mice over time, and even where the animal are, the time in mobility and everything. And we can see patterns because sometimes even the animal can be stressed, they have anxiety or whatever. You see that the animal have more tendency to be in the corner, to be the animal they don't explore or whatever. And also we can see difference between the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes. So normally a standard mouse, they used to explore during these 5 minutes. They are more active, and then the second half is more like immobile. So if we transform this to the graph, as I mentioned, we can do a lot of different analysis, because if we started to see like the animal are more time in one corner or whatever, then we can go deeper in that. But in summary, as I mentioned, the animal, the first 5 minutes, they used to explore more than the 5-second minutes. This is the distance of the mice during this time. Then the speed, this is the maximum speed that the animal we can register, and also the average. So it's something that sometimes happens. For instance, in this group, the blue pill, they have to have more tendency to be immobile than the rest. But then again, we are going to normalize respect the initial point, and we are going to correct all this fluctuation that we are detecting. And also that we can compare the time in the periphery versus in the center. And always the mice have more tendency to be in the periphery than to be in the center, where they are. This is natural, no? The animal, they don't want to be exposed to the predator and this, so they have to more tendency to be in the corners and next to the wall.
Awesome. Seems like the blue pill mice are just like stronger and, fatter maybe. Like just don't like running around, or just like big humps.
They're more confident. They don't need to move to the wall, to the side of the wall. So they're like, whatever.
But
come at me, bro.
This animal, the thing that we detected that they were like fighting a bit at the beginning, and we had to sacrifice once because of that in this group there are only 4, and maybe this caused at the beginning some different behavior. This is possible.
They're more aggro.
Yeah. So this is normal that you see that finally when we work with mice, this is natural. Sometimes there are things that happen that we don't expect, and this is the normal life. So always I see that you see differences. Okay, and finally we collect blood of the animals, so we can collect a sample, and then we measure a lot of parameters. In the red blood cell, the white blood cell, and a lot of parameters in the cell, in the blood. But then also we can do some analysis of the plasma. But I summarize here the most important, because to me the most important used to be the immune system, so the white blood cells, but then are super important the red blood cell, the hematocrites, and even the glucose. This is something that we measure in the mice in the blood all the time. The glucose is super important for many things, and particularly for longevity. So this is high correlated that the animals that have more glucose level in the blood, they have more body temperature, and finally they accelerate aging and they live shorter. So for us, it's super important to track. Either in the moment that we start with the treatment, we are going to see some increase or decrease of the glucose. We can, again, to try to guess what is going to happen with the longevity. But then we have the opposite effect. The sport people, they have more glucose level, they have more energy, and finally they can do better performance. So I'm anticipating that they don't speculate that maybe because if the performance is better short term, then they are going to live longer, because can be even the opposite. And also, this is super correlated with aging, is the red blood cell and the hematocrit. So if the red blood cell are higher, is going to show better longevity, but also in this case is even better performance together with the hematocrit. In the other side, we have the platelets, that the platelets increase over time. So when the animal gets older, the number of platelets increase, and it's important readout that we are going to measure and we are going to track during the longevity studies. So question until here, that this is actually the last slide of the graph.
Awesome. So I guess maybe some questions are red blood cells. You want to see those high, right? That means that the mice are healthy.
I'm going to try to stop sharing. Yes. Hello? No.
Oh, Benji, I think you're on mute.
It's Benji, no?
Am I frozen?
You're back.
Yes.
You're a little
Okay,
frozen
cool.
for me.
Just a little frozen. Cold. Not
Your
not
audio
totally
is good.
frozen.
Picture.
Okay,
frozen.
cool. So
Can hear you
Paris,
just fine.
for the bloods, you want to see not elevated white blood cells, right? You just but you do want to see elevated red blood cells.
I mean, always this is
Depends.
it depends. No, the red blood cell always I want to have it higher. This is true. And the hematocrit I wanted to have it higher. The white blood cells is different. So if I don't be exposed to an infection, I want the white blood cell lower and to have less inflammation. But let's imagine that I'm going for a party, I'm going to take a flight, and I'm going to expose to infection or whatever. I want to have a good level. So to me, always I say that the only thing that the nature cannot do is to predict the future. So maybe we can play this game that say, okay, I know that I'm going to be exposed to something dangerous. I want to increase the white blood cell. The rest of the time I want is lower.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, are there studies that we could do in the future that like basically expose the mice to certain infections and see how well they respond? Is that like a typical study that's done?
Yes, actually I did something similar before. That we were measuring the immune response in young mice versus old mice, and this is very clear. So the old mice, they have more, they are more weaker to get infected. So finally, the infection is stronger. So this is something that we can do. The only thing that we cannot do is that to do infection is a very strong protocol in the mice, and then we have to stop the experiment. So the mice after the infection have to be euthanized, and this is not something that we can do, for instance, longitudinal. Has to be one shot only.
Got it. Cool. So I guess like what is the current status of these performance studies? So we've captured baseline. We know that the mice are kind of like healthy enough to continue the performance studies with, and we have like, basically established baseline. Have the mice started getting dosed with the different compounds yet?
Yes. So the thing that we are going to start with the doses, and in 1 month we will have the first data point that we are able to compare. So
Nice.
the body weight we are going to measure over time. So it's something that we are going to have the data before, but I think that we have to wait at least 1 month to recapitulate all the data, to organize well, and to do the proper analysis side by side, all the compounds, the initial point, and that we have a strong conclusion. Then always I say that the statistic can say something, and then I will have my opinion. That I will say I strong believe in this result. I don't believe it. This can be tricky, but then we cannot anticipate what is going to happen because nobody did this before. This is the reality.
Amazing. So the only data points we'll get before a month from now our body temperature?
We are going to do body temperature, body weight. We are going to track the food, the amount of food that the animal eats, the drinking water. And maybe we can do some activity tests and the grease strength.
Amazing.
The blood we will collect only at the end of the experiment.
Great. So should we plan on reviewing that in like a few weeks from now?
Yes.
Amazing. Amazing.
And then
Any questions from the rest of the squad here?
The end of the experiment, we expect tests at the end of the year. So
amazing.
Crazy, the end of the year.
Yes.
All right.
It's so quick. What a quick turnaround.
Raheem, Blue Pill, Grav, any of you guys have any questions?
Well, not a question, but just a comment. I find it interesting that the baseline in blue pill mice, they're actually fatter, they move slower, that makes sense. But actually their blood results were quite similar to the rest. And I'm really, really curious to see how you compare the baseline versus the results later. I can't wait.
No, and this is something that we can study every treatment, every group separately, because we are going to see something totally different. And then this is science. This is the problem that we have the scientists all the time. That, I mean, I was doing this during the last 15 years of my life, and always I see something new. And then I'm going to give my opinion, but then maybe in the audience, the people are going to say, come on, I see that before, and I expected that. Or I would like that we have a continuous feedback with the audience, because this is new. So that maybe we are going to discover something that nobody did it before. Our goal can be to extend like health span and lifespan, but maybe we see some treatment that they can enhance the strength or to increase the red blood cell, the hematocrit, and this can be patentable. We can create IP with this. So yes, to be aware that we are going to collect a lot of data that could be interesting for many things.
Paras, and I'm also curious, you might have mentioned this already, but how often are the treatments being given? It's in the food, right? Is this something that the mice are eating every day, or is it like once a week they get the like treated version and then there's kind of like the washout in between?
So we take the drug. When the drugs are soluble in water, we mix with the water. When the drugs are not soluble, we mix with oils. So finally, and then we prepare a bottle with half of oil and half of the water. So finally, all the drugs are dissolved in the same solution. And then we take this solution and we put it in the food. So we mix with the food, and then the animal are eating chronic.
Cool, chronically, great. Can't wait to see.
And it's the best way to do it with the. Hopefully, the human, we don't do this. Normally, we take a pill every day, but we cannot do this with the mice.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm thinking like, what if one of the compounds makes the food extra delicious or something like that? Is that anything you've seen in the past?
Yes. Yeah, but it's more than delicious.
That'll probably affect the body weight. I can imagine, like just like they're eating way too much because it's so good.
Normally, that is delicious can be tricky. So normally you don't see too much that the animal. Yeah. You can see that the animal is faster or something like that. But the animal is not good. That is not palatable. This is normal. And particularly one drug that is super bad, I'm sorry, but it's berberine. Berberine, the taste.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm thinking that one's pretty bitter. And like not good. Humans don't really enjoy taking berberine either. No. So
that could be a good thing rather than a bad thing, because then it's kind of like induced caloric restriction.
Yeah,
so it could be
exactly.
Could actually be better.
Yeah.
It's like when you paint.
This is something that we are going to see. Biting them. Because if the animal is less, we are going to detect it super fast.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like humans. If you, people fluctuate their weight a lot, but if you have like massive gains or losses, that's when you're like, I need to go to the doctor because something's really wrong.
Yeah.
One thing that I loved was the videos that you shared. Is there a way that we could see the mice? Like, is there an opportunity when we could maybe like peek in on one of the experiments or have you guys record some videos? But loved seeing our little Olympians.
Well, I mean, for example, for the open field, we had to record the videos. So we record the whole test because we had the camera in the top. Then we can try in the behavioral room to record something, but normally in the animal facility, this is not allowed. So only when the animal are out of the housing room, we can do something, but can be restricted.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah, even just seeing the open field videos, I think would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this
Fans
is
want to see their, their favorite competitors.
They're star players.
Yeah. Can we get some autographs going maybe?
Stop little paw prints in the mail.
Yeah, little tiny paw prints.
I think that Benji could take all the activity of the mice and to make a race with the distance that they travel and compete with each other, the treatment. To do
it's our
like
goal to
a relay running or something, a race.
Yeah, we basically want to take the open field tests and like take the averages and then turn it into like a 3D race that we can all bet on, kind of like a horse race.
I was about to say
that is the goal.
That's definitely some marketing stuff right there. Sounds like a great idea.
And I think that we should, before to present the data that I'm going to keep confidential, to allow the people to buy token before to show the data, they can speculate what is going to be the best treatment, no?
Exactly.
That's why we're here. Cool. Well, Paris, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So yeah, like basically 2 weeks from now, we can expect at least some preliminary data on, how the body temperature, body weight, maybe some activity as well from the mice that we can go over. Does that sound right to you?
Yes, exactly.
Amazing. Cool. Well, we will regroup then.
Paris, could you share the slides that you shared with us today with us too?
Yeah, I think so.
Great.
Awesome. Cool.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Put the races on Polymarket. It says Space Turtle.
Do it. Space Turtle, Chief Meme Officer of Raptor right there. Love him.
Chief Meme Officer.
We love you, Space. And we love you, Turtle.
Except for he's not in space. He's like in the Arctic, right?
Yeah. At least
Arctic turtle.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll be back, as Benji said, with some more mouse data here, hopefully in a couple weeks. And then just a reminder for folks, we do have a data drop for some worm experiments on Friday. So be on the lookout and follow our social channels. We'll be sharing the link to RSVP to that and some reminders. So that is on Friday, I believe at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Can I chill for a second?
I mean,
please join me and my co-dev Ethan tomorrow as well on our Raptor chat. We're going to have Benji and Paris with us to talk about some of the early results we've got from our mouse dosing study with Raptor, the Raptor combination. So very excited to delve into those a little bit more. Jillian, you came on and saw them last week. It's really great stuff. But now excited to get the maestro on to give his interpretations as well. So please join us tomorrow. That will be at 10 a.m. Central.
I feel like you're putting it lightly. It was so interesting. Like after you guys showed that data,
I say groundbreaking too much, but it's groundbreaking.
I mean, there's something. Tune in because there was a lot of really interesting stuff in there. And I know we didn't have Paris on last week, so I'll be really excited to hear his take, but just the initial impressions of what we were looking at, it's definitely worth tuning into.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Jillian. Yeah, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central, Raptor stream. Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, Worm stream. We'll see you then, team.
Boom.
Boom.
See you.
Over
Peace.
and out.
Easy.